slightly.
BBC Radio Ulster you were first started off on?
Yeah.
That's a
What age?
What age was I? I must have been 22,
God,
I think.
that's mad.
Was it?
So young.
Maybe 22, 23, around that age.
How did that like come about then? The Radio Ulster thing.
Yeah, I was actually I was up in Belfast just staying over with a few friends, and I got an email from a producer, and he'd known me because of my music, and you know, I was very invested and involved in the music scene, and he just basically said like, hey, if you're interested, would you be up for coming in for a meeting, maybe getting involved on the show, whether it's on air chatting about new music or even going to gigs and doing some written reviews for our website.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course. In my head, this is where I was like gonna get my music played on this station. Yeah. So I had a whole ulterior motive. But I went in for the meeting as such, and it was a really good chat, and I was like, oh, actually, yeah, this could be fun. And then I ended up doing some voice tests, as they do in radio. So you get to have a wee go in the studio, and Rory, the producer, he was like, right, I'm gonna give you a scenario. You've just went on, well, this had actually happened. I just come back from a songwriting camp in Cavan, which was a fantastic experience. And he was like, right, so you've been here. I want you to tell me about that experience in a minute, and try not to say the word It was so hard.
So that was difficult.
Yeah, he was like, no likes, no because they're just dead space.
Oh God.
Oh my
Do
word.
I think I could do that?
Yeah.
We would be. They'd never want us.
Yeah. But it was so hard, and then I did it a couple of times, and the more I did it, because I was nearly replaying, I was like, oh, actually, this is okay. And getting to chat about music, it was a lot of fun. I definitely got put through my paces.
Yeah.
But
would they scold you now if you did ever say or anything like that?
No, I don't get scolded, but say if I was saying too much, I would, constructive criticism. It's like, you could have maybe said that in a better way, or thought about what you were going to say before you said it. Because that's usually what happens when you do go, or it's because you're thinking. Yeah.
I suppose when you're listening to radio though, like, you don't pick up on them things. It's that's so. Yeah, what was it like then whenever you done the test? Was there like a big length of time before they were like, it's green light, or what was the initial like sort of proposal from their end, and you were like, oh wow? Yeah,
I mean, the thing was, I didn't even know I was being tested. I was like, this is a bit of fun, I'm enjoying this. I was like, I want to have a go on the desk, and basically kept doing voice tests. We actually had the producer call up somebody and was like, right, Gemma, you're gonna interview them. First interview I ever did, I was like, oh God, okay, here we go. And I was so nervous. And then actually the second interview I did, because we were just going for it, 2 interviews one day, was Phil Taggart, who at the time was on Radio 1 doing the Chillis show. Yeah. And to me, I was like, Phil's this big celebrity. Oh my God, I was sweating. I was like, I'll have to ask him about his books. I'm like, how's your book? It wasn't great at all, but it was very funny. And then I think the next week they asked me to come down to a local festival in Limavady. It's called Stendhal Festival. And they basically had me do like a co-present with the current presenter at the time, and it was visualized and everything, and I was doing interviews and we did a show, and it was really exciting. And I was also playing at that festival like 3 times, so I was wrecked. I was so tired, but I had the most fun. And then about a week or 2 after, the producer had emailed me and was like, hi, can we have a meeting? The boss is gonna come along too. And I was like, oh my God, I've wrecked Stendhal. I did a really bad job, and I'm just getting called into this meeting to get shouted at or something, But actually, they offered me a job then, and I was so embarrassed. And all I could say, I went, "Oh wow." That was my response. I was like, oh God. I was like, that's so embarrassing. But yeah, I was just so taken aback by it, because the thought that they'd want me to be on air and actually speak, I thought was crazy. But of course, I accepted. Yeah.
And was that ever something you thought you would do?
Absolutely not. I would say to anybody who knows me, I can barely string a sentence together on a good day. So it never was. I think it's because when I was growing up, it's not it's not really an industry where someone's like, you know, you could go into radio. It's not as big a thing, or it wasn't back then, whereas podcasts and things now, they're a lot bigger. Whereas back then I just didn't think it was ever a possibility. I didn't listen to much radio, but actually when I got into it, I found I really enjoyed it, and it kind of went hand in hand with what I was doing music wise, so I thought, why not give it a go?